Hey everyone, my phone overheated. Two young women are speaking right now, Gracie and Zoe. We're at the Saturday and the lockdown protest in Toronto.
Right.
They're speaking about the dangers of wearing masks.
The Tuesday is Dundas Square.
Gracie and Zoe, everybody.
Woo!
I'm a little bit tearful, I'm sorry. I did not help her with that. I am absolutely, amazingly proud of my daughter.
Yes. Woo!
It's been very difficult for me as a parent. Sorry. No, I'm not normally the emotional type, but I am when it comes to my mother. And
Oh, look at the little kids. Woo!
watching these kids be oppressed from being kids is disgusting.
Yes. Yeah.
Watching kids
My little guy
afraid to
running.
see each other in public, being told that they have to stand 10 feet away from each other is disgusting.
Yeah. Absolutely
And
disgusting.
I honestly, Zoe, I love you so much. But I really, I don't know what I'm gonna do when you go back to being with your friends, because you've been attached to me at the hip, and I'm so happy.
Oh,
But I can't wait for you
Gracie.
to go back to being with your friends at the same time. My daughter graduated grade 8 this year at home with a 97 average.
woo!
I'm sorry, it's amazing.
Wow.
And she did that. She's been educating herself.
Wow.
She's been exploring encyclopedias online. She's been watching documentaries and delving into serious
I gotta get into the
psychological documentaries and lectures and you name it. And I'm amazed. I'm amazed by all the kids. Zoe, I'm amazed by you too.
Yeah, Zoe.
So before I turn this into a big, tear fest, I'm gonna have Kieran come up here, folks. Everybody welcome Kieran, please.
Woo!
Hi.
Hey.
So today I think I'm going to talk about something a little bit different from what I've been talking about before, but it's a very important topic for this kind of event,
My pleasure.
and that's infiltration and controlled opposition.
Yeah.
And so I've spoken to lots of people here, and I know some people have been truthers for quite a long time now. Some people are just waking up with this massive corona circus.
Yeah.
But what you may not know is that a lot of the people who are putting out good information, it's not bad information, it is true, but they themselves are controlled opposition. Because how the elites work is they control every single narrative that you see. So you always have to have your wits about you, even if the person you're reading, so even if the person you're reading, you agree with everything they're saying, you just always have to be mindful that they could be putting out false narratives. And so the way it works is they tell you 80 or 90% of the truth. And they tell you that the mainstream is BS, which it is. And so you think, great, they're on my side. And they're telling you a lot of things that you hadn't heard before that are true. It's good information. But at the last minute, they kind of veer off into the bushes and they take you with them. And so a lot of people here, we know that the mainstream is BS. And we want to trust that the people who say that they're on our side really are on our side. But we just have to be mindful all the time of what narratives that we're falling into, because what they do is some people aren't going to buy the mainstream narrative. And so they see what way the wind is blowing, what aspects are people not buying. And so they create a second narrative or a third narrative to capture those people. And they hope that by the time you realize that you've been duped again, it's going to be too late. But we can't let that happen. We need to be united under not complying with this, because they operate almost entirely on bluff. They put out their agents, they tell you good information, and then they fake their deaths. So that you think that if you speak out or if you do any of your own original research, they'll just suicide you.
Wow.
But like I said, they operate almost entirely on bluff. They've bluffed everybody around the world into wearing these masks, into shutting down their businesses, into risking personal bankruptcy because of a fake pandemic. And if they can fake, if they can fake a pandemic, they can definitely control the alternative media. They control the mainstream media. That much is obvious. What isn't quite as obvious is that they also control the alternative media. And so there's a few different gambits they run to control the opposition. One of which is they tell you a lot of good information, and then they throw something out there like, you know those financial elites I've been telling you about? They're actually lizard people. Yeah, so you better not listen to me because I'm just, nuts. Or they tell you a lot of good information, and then a few years down the line, they go insane and they get put into a mental institution, which could be totally faked, but if you see it on TV, people will believe it. And then they say, well, everything he said must have been BS because he later got put in a mental institution, so I better just throw out the baby with the bathwater. So that's just my message, is to be mindful. And it's not...
Use your own discernment, guys.
It's not
and
so
gals.
much, I guess, a call to action as just a call to be vigilant and to be wary. And to always pay attention to the affiliations that the people you're listening to have. If they've ever been associated with the CIA, if they're ex-CIA, if they work with the other intelligence agencies, they're probably spinning you. Yeah.
Like Google search, somebody
And
said.
they also like to out
Don't
each
use
other
Google search.
to keep you within the matrix. Because we know that there is a matrix and people are believing things that are totally not true. But there's lots of different levels to the matrix, and they try to make sure that you get stuck halfway in between
This is a young patriot,
the mainstream,
Kieran
which is
speaking.
probably like the deepest level,
He spoke a
and
couple of times
the
in
very
our
bottom
gatherings.
level. And so I just want to talk about the very bottom level. So the elites that rule over us now, they're from the same families that have been ruling for thousands of years. So if you look on mainstream genealogy sites, you can look up on genie.com, you'll see that all of the American presidents descend from King John I, who ruled in the 12th century. And so it's been the aristocratic noble families of Europe, the kings, the dukes, the marquises, the earls, the barons, who've been intermarrying with various banking dynasties for a very long time. And this is all, again, mainstream information.
In case you guys are wondering about all the
descends
noise.
from the Earls of Bandon. And if you look up the Earls of Bandon on Wikipedia, that's in the Irish peerage, you will see that he is a direct descendant.
Wow.
John Tory descends from the family that started Sun Life Financial, so again, a banking or insurance family. And Doug Ford, although I cannot confirm this 100% because his genealogy is scrubbed past the third generation back, well, Douglas, that's in the peerage of Scotland, they're the Dukes of Hamilton. Bruce, Robert the Bruce, was a 14th century Scottish king. And Ford, there are lots of famous rich Fords also. So that's not as solid as I would like it to be, but that's just my point, is that all of these people come from the same families. And so they put their sons and daughters up in front of you as gurus who will reveal all the truths that have been hidden from us. But really, they're just the second level of misdirection. And so I don't want to be hopeless because there's lots of good information out there. And I think lots of us are really aware of it. But we just need to be cognizant that this is something that happens and that this is how the elites work to misdirect us and make sure that even when we're fighting for our rights, we don't make any meaningful change.
Yes.
Like Q is not coming to save us. Trump
That's
is not
right.
coming to save us.
Yeah, I'm aware
Maxime
of that.
Bernier is not coming to save us. Randy Hillier is not coming to save us. We need to save ourselves.
Yes, we are
We
the
are the only
ones.
ones who can save us.
We are the ones we've been waiting for, guys, as I've said
Thank
it.
you.
Woo! Yeah,
Here,
so,
everybody.
yeah, so
I'm
just
telling you, this boy, I can see a future in him. Like, I can't even begin to explain it. He's gonna have a seriously bright future. I'm going to ask
yes, I
Lynn
know,
to
my
come.
love.
She's gonna make a small
I know,
announcement
I
real
know,
quick.
I know, I know. My love, it's another protest. maybe the Black Lives Matters people. I don't know. And I don't know if they're coming this way, but there's police there, so I'm not worried.
And we'll just ignore the back coming up the road because we're going to stand our ground, right?
Yes.
That's what it's all about. We stand our ground.
We stand our ground.
My father was a soldier. He fought at Normandy Bay. It was a 5-year battle. Okay, but that's the blood we have in us. I'm Scottish and German, as a matter of fact. So I say,
Just one sec, guys. Just so everybody knows, that's the 400. We know them. They were here before and they were protesting. They're very peaceful people, so there's nothing to worry about. Just so you all know, okay?
Thank
they're
you.
just like us, peaceful protesters.
The
So yeah, I'm Scottish and German, and I say I have a battle within me. Anyhow, one of the things that I'd like to, Kieran, this
My love, that's a different group of people. They're protesting something else.
Had a rough job.
They're protesting.
Okay, I want to tell you about the
Over
Trudeau.
there, my love,
Okay,
over
this is a
there.
bit of history lesson for Canadians. Etienne Trudeau was the first Trudeau to come to Canada in the 1650s. Okay, he was 28 years old. He married a 14-year-old girl, and he had about.
Just switching mics, guys.
Make sure you put the cover back on, my love.
Over here? Okay. So he married a 14-year-old girl, and they generated about 13 or so children.
Wow.
This is really, really important. 2 of his older sons that I know of, but probably there could have been more. They ended up down in Louisville, New Orleans. They owned plantations. They owned slaves. 32 slaves. Francois Trudeau. The name has changed. You can find books. I've listed these. I have a website, and a Facebook page for some time now, but it's Suffragettes Against Silence. And us women, we gotta mean that. We're no cards, no mask, no nothing. We come and we speak our piece. And I'm telling you about slavery. If you want to know the history of it, you know. Okay, Trudeau. Also, for any of you that are interested in the occult and what have you, the Jesuits played a leading role in the development of Canada as well. They're big on education. And what do they say? Give me one generation. Okay, so Etienne.
Seriously, this guy came with a massive sound system behind us.
Like Abraham was for Israel, Etienne was for North America and the Trudeaus. And on their symbol, if you go, you just have to Google it, but we are not directed in the right ways we need to go with the media because the media is a liar. And you didn't vote for them, but they come and they just whisper and shout at you lies on top of lies on top of lies.
Yep.
If you go to the Trudeau.org site, you will see not one, but 2 Masonic symbols. Okay?
Wow.
That's the right angle and the compass, for those of you that don't know. Now I am going to expose. If you don't, I want to give you encouragement. I am a Christian of 38 years, and I'm going to tell you very straightforwardly that the Lord goes before us. The information that I have and the knowledge that I have, because I have one clue that the Bible gave me, was come out of Mystery Babylon.
Yeah.
So I had to know what Mystery Babylon was in order to come out of it. So he took me back. He took me back to Arabic Ukraine. Göbekli Tepe in Turkey. Now I said I wasn't going to take up too much of their time here. If you want to learn more about this, because it's phenomenal. I drove 2 hours down here after going to Ottawa this week.
Woo! Thank you,
The
sister.
fire is burning within me. The Lord is setting our hearts ablaze. We know it's the time. It's the time to shine our light, to rise and
That's right.
shine.
That's right.
The time is now.
That's right, sister.
Okay?
That's right,
so
sister.
can I lead you in a brief prayer? And we bow down to the Lord. You know, when the wheat is ready, the biblical verse says, the wheat and the tares will grow together. The weed and the wheat will grow together. And the Bible says, well, we should turn out, pull out those weeds. And the Bible says, no, don't. Jesus says, no, don't do that. Okay? Because, you know how they know when wheat is ready? the head bows. That's how you know that the weed is ready. The head bows.
Oh, wow.
So bow before your king. Bow before your Lord. The reason we have free speech is because of Martin Luther, 500 years ago, who stood against Catholic communism. And I'm sorry, organized religion like this is absolutely wrong. We've got a Jesuit Pope, and now we got COVIDism. 2 letters off from communism, okay?
Yeah.
And we're going back. Trust me. This was the war that started this country, and it's going to be a battle here. And they're bringing it in from all sides, but the Lord has shown me their tactics and their stratagem, and it's Masonic. It's Masonic, you bet.
Yep.
So the reason, I was one of the first people that wore a mask in my town. And I followed this, and like all of you, I was frustrated. Why isn't the government doing more? Why haven't they shut the border? What the hell is going on? It's a plague already. Well, when they came later, about 6 weeks later, and said about their sweeping changes, political, governmental sweeping changes, after wearing my mask for 6 weeks, I went, put on the brakes here, rip that sucker off. I had a heart attack last year. I said, I'd rather be dead than live one day in that regime.
Yeah.
That's not the daughter
Smart
my father
lady,
raised.
smart lady.
That's not the daughter
Yeah.
of my Lord in heaven.
Yeah.
My daddy, my God in heaven has called for me. He called us to freedom. And who the sun sets free is free indeed. Amen?
Amen.
That is our prayer. Okay, thank you so much. God bless you all. And you can look online, Suffragettes Against Silence. And there's a more of revelation that's coming. This is a time of movement. One quick thing I'll share with you, because I know there's really intelligent people here. Because you've come out, you've made a difference. You've determined to. The name Chuto. He gave me a prophetic gift of translation. And truth means bitch. It means bitch in Dutch, which the name originates. Habsburg, okay, they're all deformed because of all the fights with the Catholic Church and all this kind of stuff. You can investigate that.
Queen's Park.
But truth means bitch. It translates into Sirius, the canine star. So it's actually bitch water. Bitch water. And that has occult meaning. That is occult meaning nymph, who sits by the water edge.
Okay.
But that it has serious, it has serious implications for us. Because it's a demonic symbol, okay? That's why the Giza temple was built under the Sirius. So truth means bitch. That's probably why they changed the name. That, and so that you couldn't follow them. But there's some homework for all of us dissidents and all of us resistors.
I think she's talking about
Get online, and this is why I must share this message, because God knows they don't want this message out. All right, they would love to shut everything down. They've already canceled my program, my FB page, and now we got this one. But this is why I have to share the truth, because the truth is like a torch, right? If I go and I light your torch, and you light someone else's torch, this is how we carry on. That's why they taught us relay races and baton races. And I say to people, and I see them online, the captive audience, I say, listen, if you take the muzzle the first wave, you'll take the leash and collar on the second.
Yeah. Slippery through.
So this is, it's a pandemic, all right, and I know I don't have to go on about that. But just see it opposite. See these people lined up as your captive audience. Because they are. They need the truth. And the truth will guarantee set us free. Just on the way here, the Lord gave me confirmation, because I prayed, I said, Lord, give me the right people that need to hear this message and connect me. Do you know why I was listening on the radio? I have a song called Suffragette. Now that is not a word you hear very often, Suffragette. But that's the word phrase that he gave me, which I didn't choose the name for either. So our God is so awesome. Last night I had a Jesus fish over my house that a young lady pointed out on a stormy night because she came to visit. So I'm just telling you, signs and wonders, like I told her, that's why God will never go out of fashion. Because there will always be signs and wonders. Look for him. He is in your life. He wants to be close. This is where they're losing. This is why they're getting the This is why they're getting us now, because we're losing our faith, and that's what they wanted to happen. But if you tune down, see, we're like a receiver. Here's the broadcast station. If you tune in, get rid of the static. See, the static went away. The static kept walking. If you get rid of the static, and there's another station trying to come in, you know, you're between stations, and there's a demonic station, and there's God's station. And these two things clash, and you've got to right tune it to the right station that you can hear the Lord's voice. And He's going to show you miracles on top of miracles, and this is why we win, people. This is our heritage. This is our culture. This is why people want to come here, because of what God has done to create civilization. God bless you all.
Woo! This lady obviously had a very spiritual, religious inclination, or more spiritual than religious. Different people come and express their thoughts about what's going on and what's been going on.
I just wanted to explain what just happened there. So we had Remember the 400, a non-profit group being supported by a Caribbean group called the Caribbean Protest Group. And their primary goal is to protest against the lack of public educational facilities in all the Caribbean countries. So that's what they were. They weren't Black Lives Matter. There were people there that supported Black Lives Matter and Black Lives Matter signs. But the two official groups that were there were Remember the 400, which is a non-profit group, and they're not affiliated with BLM, and the Caribbean Protest Group, which is also not affiliated with BLM. So I don't want anybody to think there was a hostile or anything like that. They were just here doing what we're doing, talking about important things and trying to hold the government accountable. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, thanks for clarifying.
We have a good day today, folks. Have a good day. And yeah, just so you guys know, these guys, they're just out there doing what we're doing. It's the same thing. This government is absolutely corrupt. We need to stand together as Canadians, 100% in unity, and get them out of our house. With that, I'm going to have to invite the most handsome person here today up here to lead you guys into our own little radical march. Lamont.
Freedom March.
Thanks, guys. Number one, you know, I'd really thank you to everybody who was in Ottawa. I really wish I would have been there, but we had a great little group here with about 40 or 50 people, and then we had a great little beach party to honor the fact that you guys were out there doing amazing things in Ottawa. The energy of what you guys do is absolutely amazing, and such as Kelly said, every group, every person, every segment and mandate that's been going on right now has been trying to get to this one point and get these people out of the house. Get us out of the houses. And the only thing we're going to do today, for sure, is going to be a march.
Woo!
Okay? Absolutely.
Lamont Deagle speaking. He's usually been leading us into a weekly march for freedom.
So, as you can see, there aren't a lot of peace officers or police watching us because we've been doing this for 13 weeks. And they know we're good people.
Yeah.
So they don't have to worry about us.
Yeah.
So what we're going to do today, without police escort, hey!
Woo!
What we're going to do is
Some
we're going to
people
grab our
honking
speakers
in
and all the
support.
things we need to do. And Kelly is also holding some pamphlets. They're already gone. Okay, so there's going to be some chants for the march. You can just take a look at some of the pages people have, take some pictures. Very simple. I'll do the initial chants for 6, as much as I can remember, and then go down the list, and we're going to do that the same route as before.
Hey.
Carlton to church, church up to Wellesley, Wellesley to Young, down at college here, and come right back. Okay, guys? We could take the street if we really wanted to. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're actually going to take the sidewalk today, which actually I prefer, because that way we can actually give pamphlets, which we have on the table over there to give people. See, Joey's been really good at giving people the right flyers, and we have them designed just for you guys to give them out to people. So we'll cross the street, follow my lead with a big-ass speaker, and we're going to head down the sidewalk. Everybody with me, yes or yes?
Yes!
Everybody with me, yes or yes?
Yes!
Yes or yes?
Yes!
Oh, let's go!
Woo! Let's see the fly. This is the sign. Oh, this is your sign? Awesome. No, my handsome. We will finish the water and then we're going to start marching, my love. We're doing a little march. Yeah, hello, beautiful.
I brought another friend and her little girl's playing over
Nice.
there.
Oh,
Where's
nice.
the blonde one?
Okay.
And I said to Anthony, do you want to meet a new friend? He goes, no. I'm like, why? I'm looking for Nicole. I need to find Nicole. He's like, I'm like, okay, whatever it is.
He wants to see that little Pomeranian. Anyway, everybody.
Are you going on Tuesday?
Yeah, I plan on going there. Yeah. So everyone, I'm gonna end the
Where's
stream
the
now.
information about it?
I don't know. Probably the Back to Work group and MAD. So 9:30 a.m. Tuesday morning at Dundas Square. Dundas Square, 9:30 a.m. Tuesday morning. We're gonna have like an anti-mask protest. And thanks, my love. What should I do with the sticker? No, okay, my love. Thank you, my love. But I already have one, mi vida. Okay, everybody. So I will continue the stream a bit later from our Freedom March.
Hello, hello.
Guys, make sure you grab the
flyers. The box.